Welcome to our latest Manchester United transfer news update. Dan Ashworth has left Manchester United with £25 million transfer parting gift amid shock exit. Dan Ashworth has left Man United just 5 months after he started his role as sporting director. Manchester United have parted ways with sporting director Dan Ashworth after just 5 months in the role, but the 53-year-old did secure the Reds a future £25 million windfall during his short spell at Old Trafford. As reported, Ashworth, who only joined the club on July 1, has left his position after crunch talks at Old Trafford following Saturday evening's 3-2 defeat to Nottingham Forest. The report claims that CEO Omar Barada was part of the talks over the weekend which led to Ashworth's shock exit being agreed at Old Trafford. It's claimed that United instigated the separation before a mutual agreement to terminate the former Brighton and Hove Albion and Newcastle United transfer chief's contract was put together. After his appointment, Ashworth, who had previously worked with the Football Association, FA, was placed in charge of football performance, operations and recruitment at United. And in his first summer at Old Trafford, he was involved in a lavish spending spree as United signed Lenny Yoro, Manuel Ugarte, Matthijs de Ligt, Noussair Mazraoui and Joshua Zirkzee, for a total cost of around £200 million. But it is one of Ashworth's final acts in the transfer market which could be seen as a silver lining from his stint at Old Trafford, as he was able to strike a deal with Premier League rivals Chelsea to offload Jadon Sancho. The 24-year-old England international, who had joined United for £72.9 million in the summer of 2021, had fallen out of favour at Old Trafford under Erik ten Hag and spent the second half of the 2023-24 season on loan at former club Borussia Dortmund. Ashworth, though, was able to negotiate a deal with Chelsea late on deadline day to take Sancho on another loan. Most impressively, though, was United's ability to convince the Londoners to agree to an obligation to buy Sancho in the deal, which was formalised close to the 11 p.m. cut-off. It means that Sancho's transfer to Stamford Bridge will be made permanent in July 2025, with United set to recoup £25 million for the England forward, who failed to impress in 3 years at Old Trafford. Dan Ashworth, mutually, sacked by Manchester United, Sir Jim Ratcliffe a total embarrassment. Dan Ashworth has been sacked by Manchester United. Sorry, Dan Ashworth has mutually agreed to be sacked by Manchester United. The exclusive, see below, delivered by the excellent David Ornstein on Sunday morning. The man from The Athletic reporting that the embarrassing Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the one who has pushed for the exit of Dan Ashworth. Whatever Newcastle United fans might think of the way Dan Ashworth behaved in exiting St James' Park, this is quite clearly Sir Jim Ratcliffe looking for a scapegoat to deflect attention away from his and the Glazers' clueless running of Manchester United. Ratcliffe was an absolute disgrace in how he behaved when trying to bully Newcastle United into simply handing over Dan Ashworth, when deciding that he and Manchester United wanted Newcastle's director of football. Sacking Dan Ashworth only 5 months after starting the job, is totally humiliating for the clueless minority Manchester United shareholder. When demanding that Newcastle United should simply hand him over, Man U's Ratcliffe said this back in February 2024. Dan Ashworth is clearly one of the top sporting directors in the world. I have no doubt he is a very capable person. He is interested in Manchester United because it's the biggest challenge at the biggest club in the world. It would be different at Man City because you're maintaining a level. Here it's a significant rebuilding job. He would be a very good addition. Dan Ashworth has left his role as Manchester United's sporting director after just 5 months. Ashworth officially joined United on July 1 after a lengthy period of gardening leave at former club Newcastle United, but the transition has not been smooth and his exit has been decided upon. Ashworth's departure was agreed in a meeting with Chief Executive Omar Barada at Old Trafford after United's Premier League game with Nottingham Forest on Saturday evening. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been pivotal to the call to part ways, in a move that will stun staff at United given Ashworth's prominence in trying to reshape the club. Multiple sources, speaking anonymously like others in this story to protect relationships, say United instigated the separation. The club say the final agreement to end Ashworth's contract was mutual. The new Ratcliffe-led hierarchy, overseen by Sir Dave Brailsford, had placed Ashworth in overall charge of football performance, recruitment and operations, with Jason Wilcox, also a new arrival, reporting to him as technical director. Ashworth himself reported into Barada, who arrived in the summer from rivals Manchester City. All the executives were across the decision to keep Erik ten Hag as manager, with Ashworth quoted on the official announcement of the Dutchman's extended contract in June. Ashworth was also involved in a summer of heavy spending at Old Trafford, which included the arrivals of Lenny Yoro. Journalist provides big hint that Dan Ashworth was sacked immediately after Man United's loss to Nottingham Forest. Simon Stone of the BBC has provided a big hint to suggest that Dan Ashworth was sacked from his role as Manchester United's sporting director, immediately after the side's defeat to Nottingham Forest on Saturday. United slipped to a second consecutive loss, as they were beaten 3-2 by Nuno Espirito Santo's men. Goals from Nikola Milenkovic, Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood were all the visitors needed to secure 3 points and hand United their second consecutive defeat. Rasmus Højlund and Bruno Fernandes grabbed the Red Devils' goals. It has since emerged that Ashworth has vacated his position as United sporting director, just 5 months after taking on the role. A bombshell report by The Athletic divulged that the separation was instigated by United, with co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe playing a key role. It's understood that Ashworth's transition from Newcastle to United has not been smooth and so, a decision was made, in a meeting after the Forest game, to axe him. Simone Stone was at Old Trafford reporting for BBC Sport and reported that he saw Ashworth walking through the mixed zone after the game. According to Stone, Ashworth's head was down and he avoided contact with others who were in the room. Stone noted, Manchester United sporting director Dan Ashworth just walked through the media room, heading from one part of the stadium to another. He kept his head down and didn't make eye contact with the journalists present. Ashworth and the other United executives have a lot of work in front of them over the next weeks and months. While it's not definitive, Ashworth's demeanor strongly suggests that he was sacked immediately after that match or he knew his departure was imminent. United are back in action on Thursday when they face Victoria Plzen in the Europa League. Dan Ashworth has left his role as Manchester United's sporting director after just 5 months, reports the reliable David Ornstein of The Athletic. Following Sir Jim Ratcliffe's partial 27.7% investment into United earlier this year, the Ineos billionaire moved quickly in his bid to implement a best-in-class footballing structure that would lead the Red Devils into the next era. As part of this structure, United secured the services of Ashworth as sporting director from Newcastle. It was not an easy acquisition as the Magpies were adamant they wanted around £20 million in compensation to let their executive circumvent his notice period. United made it clear they would not pay such a hefty amount for non-playing personnel. Eddie Howe's side responded by placing Ashworth on immediate gardening leave. At some point, Ashworth threatened to take Newcastle to arbitration in a bid to unlock the tense situation. However, in July, United finally managed to get their main man. Ashworth played a key role in the summer transfer window, in which the club brought. Real reason Man United sacked Dan Ashworth indicated, with Ruben Amorim theory put forward. Dan Ashworth has left his role as Manchester United's sporting director after just 5 months and Ruben Amorim's arrival at Old Trafford may have had something to do with it, per reports. The Red Devils battled to prize Ashworth away from Newcastle this past summer and paid a compensation fee of around £3 million to release him from his Magpies contract. Ashworth played a major role in all of Man Utd's summer transfer business, but journalist David Ornstein has revealed that the Red Devils have decided to move him on. Per Ornstein's report for The Athletic, Ashworth's departure was agreed in a meeting with Chief Executive Omar Barada following Man Utd's 3-2 defeat to Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Club co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been pivotal to the decision in a move that'll stun staff at Old Trafford. The report insists the final agreement to end Ashworth's contract was mutual. Interestingly, the report suggests that the appointment of Ruben Amorim as Man United boss was mainly Barada's decision, hinting that Ashworth didn't have much influence on the call and that he may have wanted to bring in a different manager. Ashworth reported to Barada in his role, and Ornstein's report hints Ashworth may have took a back seat in the restructuring of Man United following the sacking of Erik ten Hag. Ashworth supported keeping ten Hag in place after last season, along with all the other Red Devils executives, Ratcliffe the driving force behind Ashworth acts. The decision to part ways with Ashworth comes as a major shock as he looked set to play a major role in building a new Man United team. As mentioned, he played a big role in signing the likes of Lenny Yoro, Manuel Ugarte, Matthijs de Ligt, Nasser Mazraoui and Joshua Zirkzee over the summer, for roughly £200 million combined. In a separate report, journalist Fabrizio Romano has named Ratcliffe as the driving force behind Ashworth's departure. He said there was a tense situation with Ratcliffe, who was not happy at all with last summer's transfer strategy. This is a major U-turn given how highly Ratcliffe spoke of Ashworth back in February. Dan Ashworth is clearly one of the top sporting directors in the world, Ratcliffe said. I have no doubt he is a very capable person. He is interested in Manchester United because it's the biggest challenge at the biggest club in the world. It would be different at City because you're maintaining a level. Here it's a significant rebuilding job. He would be a very good addition. Man United will now look for another sporting director to come in soon who'll help rebuild Amorim's side, who currently sit in a disappointing 13th place in the Premier League table. Meanwhile, Man United are seriously considering a move for Bournemouth left-back Milos Kerkez in January, but face competition for his signature. Reports suggest that Real Madrid have joined the race for the 20-year-old. Due to the fact they're set to miss out on top left-back target Alphonso Davies. Liverpool are also long-term admirers of Kerkez as could move for him this winter as Arne Slot eyes more competition for Andy Robertson. Sources have revealed to Team Talk that a bid of £40 million would be required for Bournemouth to consider selling Kerkez mid-season, so it'll be interesting to see whether Man United match that price tag. In other news, the Red Devils are considering a bid for Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guéhi next month, per reports from Spain. Man United are said to be willing to offer €40 million, £33.1 m/$42.2 m, for the Palace centre-back, which they reportedly feel represents a great market opportunity and they seemingly believe is a fair price. However, the Eagles value Guéhi in excess of £70 million, so Man United will have to spend a lot more than that to sign the England international. Chelsea, Liverpool and Newcastle also have Guéhi on their radar for January, per Team Talk sources. Thanks for watching.